We're in Luxembourg, and I have to say it, this is a wonderful place. It's absolutely beautiful here. Behind me, as you can see, is a very, very, very large and old castle that's in the middle of the center. And where we are right now is this beautiful area where you can actually park. It's directly when you come into the city, it's directly here. We came to Luxembourg to visit the American Memorial Cemetery, but before actually going there, we decided to stop in the city center to see what it's like and to explore a bit. While Luxembourg City itself is not famous for being a huge travel destination, we found it's a beautiful area and nonetheless a place worth visiting. Luxembourg has many interesting and artistic elements, and nearby you always find a bench where you can take a few minutes to sit down and appreciate the surroundings. Man, is this thing cool.
Well, you're not kidding.
I know I'm not kidding. But it's cool. I've never seen anything so cool. This thing folds down and then you can draw on it just like an actual tablet. Luxembourg itself seems to be a great place to go shopping or to go get something to eat, just to walk around and see something different. It's not like they have a bunch of different things or a bunch of different places to go actually sightseeing. So if you want to come to Luxembourg, be prepared to walk and have a lot of time for shopping. These days, every town seems to have a sightseeing bus. Luxembourg has one as well. There are 10 stops, including landmarks and historic buildings, and the last destination is the American Cemetery and Memorial. It's up to you to decide if the stops are worth jumping off the bus, but as far as we're concerned, we went to Luxembourg for one specific reason. The American Cemetery and Memorial is located just outside of Luxembourg City. The drive itself is actually very easy and scenic and goes through forested areas. Once you are here, you will find a place that fully honors the history and sacrifice of all those who gave their lives to stop the horrors that began in Germany. The cemetery itself is flawlessly kept, and the moment you get here, it's like you can feel the struggles that came along with the war, which can be a little overwhelming. Within the memorial, there are a couple of places where you can find the names of the soldiers that have graves in the cemetery, and there are many who are unknown or were not found. Also, there are detailed maps and further information which outline the events in a timeline of German occupation and the years when the Germans had taken over specific regions within Europe, as well as the years where those regions were taken back from the Nazi regime. One thing I will never forget is the inscription on the walkway of the memorial itself from Dwight D. Eisenhower, and it reads, "All who shall hereafter live in freedom will be here reminded that to these men and their comrades, we owe a debt to be paid with grateful remembrance of their sacrifice and with the high resolve that the cause for which they died shall live eternally. General Patton is buried behind all of the troops, just outside of the memorial. He was at one time buried in the midst of his soldiers, but people trampled the grounds and defaced the area around his grave, which led them to finally move him to the place where he is today. About a mile from the American Cemetery and Memorial, there is another cemetery that is full of the German soldiers that lost their lives in the war. For obvious reasons, we did not go there. We're in the middle of the American military cemetery, just outside of Luxembourg, where over 5,000 people are buried. It's pretty overwhelming to be in the middle of this, to be looking around at all these crosses, knowing that all these people died so that we could be free. It's overwhelming. There is a lot of history everywhere you go in Europe. Luxembourg itself has an unbelievable past, and if one travels here just to see the American Cemetery and Memorial, it may be best not to just stop there, but instead reserve some time for the city itself. And while we would have loved to stay in Luxembourg, we actually continued on the road to Trier, Germany. We're in
Trier!
And we're gonna look around and show you what we can do on a budget. Trier is only half an hour away from Luxembourg, and if you are discovering the area by car, it is definitely worth a stop, as Trier is a rather typical German city. Trier is a city divided by the Moselle River, which runs along the entire region. It is a great place for a boat ride, as with many other places in the area, and it is absolutely beautiful with a very rich history. The Porta Nigra is the last remaining of 4 city gates from the Roman era. Built in 170 AD, it was the northern entrance to the city. The name Porta Nigra was given to this gate because the stones that were used in its construction had begun turning black with age. About a 2-minute walk from the Porta Nigra, we found a statue of Karl Marx, which was unveiled in 2018 to mark the 200th birthday of this native-born son. In Trier, there are quite a few beautiful and historic buildings to look at and tour through. You can either take a jump-on, jump-off tour bus to see them, or you can take the tour train from the center on a ride through town. As you can see, we're not the only ones. There's a whole busload of people here, sightseeing, just like us, checking it out. Now, we're gonna go eat something. Just up from Porta Nigra, there are many local shops, restaurants, and cafes, making it hard to choose where to go first. We chose to go inside a shopping mall to look around and managed to find a store with a buffet-style cafeteria where you can choose from all kinds of foods. So we found this great mall. It's in the middle of Trier. They have a fantastic restaurant. It's buffet style, but tons of different kinds of German food. Very good place, and it's price-worthy.
It's like spongy
Noodle.
It's like spongy.
Delicious. It's a little mini potato with some sauce and vegetables. Absolutely delicious. I have also here a schnitzel, which is traditional German stuff. It's really good. All in all, Trier is a beautiful city, and you could easily spend a few days here to see the sights, take in a show, and do some shopping.
These look incredible.
Adrian would love to have one of those. For many reasons, he's not getting one.
Whoops.
Sorry.